Hey folks, I just wanted to take some time to talk about some content creation and how I approach things in BrandGhost, try to introduce some topics and things that we are building and trying to, make functional in BrandGhost for content creators like myself, for content creators like you, and that way you can have some insight into what we're building and sort of the approach that I think is working really well, at least in my own content creation journey. So what I'm going to do is switch over to BrandGhost. You'll see I have it pulled up on my screen here. I'm going to be in the corner hanging out. And I want to walk through a little bit about some of my content creation strategy. So, for a little bit of context, if you don't know who I am, let me flip back to this camera view. I go by dev leader on social media. I make a lot of software engineering, like educational content. That's sort of my personal brand that I try to build up. And really, I'm just trying to publish as much helpful software engineering content as possible. But in order to do that and stay consistent, it's not trivial, right? I've talked about this in other videos, but being consistent over a long period of time, in my opinion, is one of the best ways to be successful with content creation. But being consistent means you got to keep showing up, and doing it over a long period of time means you can't burn out from it and give up. And when you put those two things together, you start to realize over time it's really not trivial, right? It's sometimes hard to have motivation to go write things, sometimes really difficult after, doing something consistently for a while. If you're not exactly where you hoped you were going to be, or, the things just aren't lining up, you start to get demotivated from it. You want to give up, right? You did your 6 months of posting every day and you're not a multi-billionaire yet. You don't have, all of the followers in the world. You're like, well, why am I doing this? Other people can do it so much faster. It's just very easy to get demotivated. So I'm going to flip back over and kind of walk through some of what I've been doing and what I think works and why we're trying to build some other functionality into BrandGhost. So, what I have on my screen right now is a topic stream, and this is focused on code commute links to YouTube videos. That was a little bit too wordy for me to say. And how this works is when I publish vlog videos to my YouTube channel, one of them is called Code Commute. I'm able to have that automatically pulled into BrandGhost, and it goes into what's called a topic stream. And if you're not familiar with topic streams in BrandGhost, it's essentially a set of content where it's like a queue, and it will recycle content over time. If you pay close attention on my screen, it says there's 304 items in this topic stream. And if I just scroll really fast like this, everything that's flying by on my screen right now, that's a YouTube video on this one channel called Code Commute that I have. Now, for my content creation, because I mentioned I like to focus on software engineering topics, I end up using one of my personal brands, Code Commute in this case, to do vlog entries. And I'm just going to flip back so I can talk with my hands a little bit. So I like using this as like a Q&A kind of format. People can submit questions to me, and it really is just one way that I can make a lot of content with low effort. This is a YouTube channel I have where I don't do any editing. I record it with my camera in the car. I basically just have it on and I drive. And my viewers, which works really well in this case, they don't really need to watch the video. A lot of them say they just have it playing, and they ask me to put it on Spotify so they don't need YouTube Premium to keep their phone open. But point is, this is one way that I can get video content extremely easily because all I do is talk about things that I do professionally, right? I can give insider perspective and things I do professionally. And if you're anyone who has done any kind of work or has any experience, you're probably in a situation where you could talk about things, right? For me, it happens to be software engineering. You might be, I've talked to my wife about this. She's a therapist, and it's like you could talk about concepts from the domain that you work in, or from maybe you're into a hobby, right? You have a lot of experience in that hobby. You could talk about those things if you were interested in doing it. I'm assuming if you're watching this, you're interested in some type of content creation. So I use Code Commute to be able to do that. Now, BrandGhost is able to listen to the YouTube RSS feed, which means that it can see when videos are posted. It pulls those in automatically to the topic stream. At the time I'm recording this video, that feature is not yet enabled for our users. I'm sort of a power user because I'm the creator of BrandGhost and I can do this kind of stuff. But if you're watching this and it's still not enabled and you're interested, reach out to us. We can work something out with you and you can trial it out. Maybe by the time you're watching this, this is already enabled. So we get content automatically pulled into your topic stream. And this is part one of what we're doing, because if I flip back over to show you this, what you can't see in the user interface and something that's happening behind the scenes is for every single one of these videos that gets pulled in, I am also automatically pulling the transcript for that video. In this particular case, this is the really powerful thing that I want to focus on for the rest of this video, because when I have a vlog entry, right, this is something where I'm just talking for anywhere from 10 to 45 minutes, depends on the video, depends on my drive or my commute, but it's roughly that amount of time. And that video is just me talking, which means when we have a sort of a transcript file that comes from that, it's literally just how I talk naturally. Sort of like this video that I'm recording right now. I don't have a script that I'm going by. This is just me talking to you like you're a friend that was sitting beside me. So this is naturally how I speak, naturally going over things that I'm interested in. So I have hundreds of these videos and I keep putting them out because it's a, number one, helpful thing for my viewers. Number two, it's a helpful way for me to generate content. But each one of these, I automatically get a transcript pulled into BrandGhost. And this is where a lot of the other features that we're building behind the scenes right now are going to be tremendously valuable. So when we talk about building, or I guess like generating content, right? So I mentioned a little bit earlier, trying to be consistent. It means we have to create new types of content. We have to think about the posts we want to make, the video transcripts if we're recording videos, like sorry, not video transcripts, video, what's the word I want? It's not the transcript, it's sort of like the layout that you want to follow, right? Transcript comes after technically. So the idea of like having your ideas for videos, your ideas for posts, like all of this stuff, if you're super creative and it comes to you naturally every day, like that's awesome. But I've been doing this almost, I'm just checking my calendar, it's almost been 3 years very consistently posting stuff every day. I do not have inspiration for new content every day. However, if I have, like I was showing you, if I have hundreds of video transcripts, hundreds of transcripts of just me talking, what's really powerful about that and how we can leverage AI is that I can start to take AI and I can take all of my video transcripts. For you, if you don't have transcripts and you're not interested in video, this could be things like blog posts, content you've already created, right? Material that is you, right? Your written content, your, in my case, this is video content that we're taking the transcripts from. If we can take this content and we can pair it with AI, then at least what we can do is start to help you generate more content. Now, I want to be very careful about this because we've talked about this internally with the people that I'm building BrandGhost with. Our goal is not to say, great, create enough content and you can just walk away and it's all just magically going to be AI content for you. Not at all, because if maybe this, I'm again checking my calendar, but maybe this changes in the future. Certainly right now, it's very obvious if you have AI go generate something, right? It's very obvious because it doesn't sound like you. It doesn't sound like the person whose content you're reading. It sound like there's a lot of things that we can pick up because we've seen enough AI content at this point, but it will keep getting better. The meta point here is that we don't want what we're doing with BrandGhost to replace you as the content creator. We want you to keep creating content. We want to help leverage AI with the content you've created already so that you can easily create more, so that you can get more ideas kicked off. So I'm going to make a follow-up video to this showing some other parts of the technology, and then I'll make another follow-up video where I'm showing you how it's all pieced together when the user interface is done. But what I'm getting at here is that we're going to start being able to use things like transcripts or other content that you have, along with things like post templates or other things, so that we can take your material, like really the content that you have. We can take templates for posts and things like that on LinkedIn or Twitter, things that have done really well. By the way, when I say template, think about, this is going to sound kind of weird, but think about like the shape of your post. I mean that like literally in terms of how it's visualized, like the spacing of it, the structure in terms of the hook and how you have bullet points and stuff like that. The sort of the generalized theme or topic. So it doesn't have to be like the domain. Like if you want to talk about sports and I want to talk about software engineering, someone else wants to talk about crypto investing or something else. It's not really the topic that matters, but sort of like the delivery of that information. We can take these templates, we can take your content, sort of your knowledge, how you speak, and then we can pair it with AI to generate some ideas for you. Now, I would never recommend that you just take all of those blindly and just go add them into BrandGhost and start posting them automatically, because I think that you'll be disappointed. Truly, I don't know at what point in the future AI does this so well that you won't be, but I think at least for the foreseeable future, I do not recommend, my team and I do not recommend that you just take AI content without reviewing it, without changing it up, and just posting it. But we want to get you to a point where writer's block isn't really a thing anymore, where you can essentially sit down, review AI generated content based on your experiences, your information, and other templates. You'll be able to provide templates as well. And that way you have something to go through and go, great, I have, just making this up, I have 5 examples of posts that I want to go through, and I can read through them and go, yep, that seems like a good idea. Let me change up the hook a little bit. Oh, this point that it made, 5 sentences in is not quite accurate, or I don't like how it's phrased. Let me update that. Or, hey, that's not exactly how I would say that. That doesn't really sound right. Let me touch that up. The point is that hopefully this gets you unblocked. Hopefully this gets you to be more consistent, and we stop having as many excuses for, like, I just don't have the motivation, because the activation energy to sit down and come up with new ideas can sometimes be overwhelming. So again, I'm just going to flip back to BrandGhost here, and I'm going to pull up another topic stream I have. So this is the one I have for, it's just my topic stream called Dev Leader General Software Engineering. And these are primarily like long form text posts. And so there's 160 items, right? If I scroll through really quick, you can see all of these in here. Every single one of these that's in here is a post that you would see like on LinkedIn, let's say, right? And then I can use BrandGhost and topic streams to cross-post these to other platforms. So they go to Facebook. There's no images on this one, so there's no Instagram or TikTok. This will go to Facebook, Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads, not Tumblr anymore. It'll go to Reddit. It will go to Discord. It goes to a whole bunch of different places. And the nice thing about this is that these are all things that I can repost over time. But just to show you one of these, right, if I click over in here, the idea is I have this post, and sorry, I know it's behind my head. Let me move this over a little bit so you can see it. But this is the post itself, right? It's all text. And essentially, part of what I do for content creation is I have to come up with posts like this. Now, because I have BrandGhost, because I have topic streams, because I have a lot of content that I've been building up over time, if I do not have the creative energy today to go come up with the post that I want to go out tonight, the beauty of BrandGhost is that I have 168 on this topic stream alone that it can go recycle as it needs to, which means I can take a day off. But that also means, if I go close this just for a moment, I scroll up here, you can see right at the top, we have this evergreen score, and this is a 5 out of 5 right now for this topic stream. But the idea is that that's how fresh this content is. So over time, as that score drops and it's not really fresh content anymore because I haven't posted in a while, or it's not the right thing to say, I haven't added new content for a while. Over time, even with 168 items in this topic stream, that content will eventually get stale. All right, so using what I was just talking about, where I can take my transcripts, we can take the power of BrandGhost to help generate new ideas. What we'll be able to do is introduce new sort of draft posts into here that you can go review, and then when you're happy with it, you can go enable it. And that means that you can essentially have access to more ideas more easily and not stay blocked for as long. So if you're having a period of a writer's block, you can use BrandGhost to help generate new ideas. And like I said, in the next video that I will put up, I'll be able to focus on showing you a little bit more of the technical behind the scenes pieces of this for now. And then when that's all working and we have the user interface done, I'll walk you through how we can see this all come together. And hopefully, if it works the way that I envision it to, that means a writer's block is sort of a thing of the past, hopefully. And that way you can focus more on just creating content. Because at the end of the day, as content creators, that's what I would like to spend my time on. I would like to spend my time creating content. I would like to spend my time doing other things outside of content creation. Not having to sit there and go, what's the most viral idea? Not having to sit there and go, okay, whose post do I have to go comment on now to get visibility? How do I go copy and paste this everywhere? We want to take all of those things, minimize them so you can focus on what's most important. So thank you so much for watching. And in the next video, like I said, we'll get into some more technical details with some of the AI pieces behind the scenes. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.